Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this afternoon, so let's begin. First up, one additional death related to COVID-19 announced. 50 new cases. 4,197 cases total. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
When you cut lawns for a living, reliability matters. The Kubota commercial lineup with purpose-built mowers like this.
More than half of New Hampshire's COVID-19 patients have recovered, but the virus remains a persistent threat, with the state announcing another new death today.
New numbers came in just a few minutes ago. There are now 4,197 known cases in New Hampshire. 1,553 of those are current cases. 210 people have now died. More than 2,400, nearly 60%, have recovered.
The U.S. has seen more than 1.6 million cases out of the 5.4 million worldwide. Those numbers are being closely watched as more areas of society reopen, and that caution was on full display this Memorial Day.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. And here is a look at that information, what you need to know. There are 4,197 number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,706,216 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 210 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 420 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 99,805 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows you where current cases of COVID-19 are in New Hampshire. Manchester, 437. In this map of New Hampshire shows you where total cases of COVID-19 are in New Hampshire. Manchester, 1,044. And let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart right here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple. Daily new positive COVID-19 cases in the orange. New hospitalizations, and in the red are the deaths. In this chart here, current cases in the purple. Total current COVID-19 cases, and in the orange, current hospitalizations. In this chart here, total cases in the purple. Total positive cases of COVID-19 in the orange. Total hospitalizations in the red, deaths, and in the blue, recovered. And this chart here shows you by age group of cases. This chart here shows you by female and male. And this chart here shows you risk information. This chart here shows you race/ethnicity of cases. This chart here shows you hospitalizations. This chart here shows you deaths. And this chart here shows you percent of New Hampshire population. And again, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Manchester firefighter injured while battling blaze. Firefighter taken to Elliott Hospital. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart.
And we do begin with breaking news in Manchester, where a firefighter was rushed to the hospital after responding to a call on South Beach Street this morning. WMUR's Tim Callery is live at the scene with information just coming in from investigators. Tim.
Well, Sean, this is still fairly an active scene here on South Beach Street. That fire happening here in this White House behind me. Sources telling News 9 this afternoon that a Mayday call was made for a firefighter down during this fire. They tell us that he was taken to the Elliott Hospital. Right now, the extent of his injuries are unknown at this time. The road is still closed from Dorchester Street to Mitchell Street as firefighters continue to go through this home. The fire was knocked down, but it caused some pretty significant damage. The windows were blown out, and there's some smoke damage to the side of the building as well. Several crews from Manchester responded to this scene. Neighbors tell us this fire went up pretty quickly. They say that it was pretty quiet this morning, and then all of a sudden they saw flames and thick smoke pouring outside of this home. Right now, it is unclear if there was anyone inside the home at the time of this fire. We are waiting some information from the Manchester Fire Department to see if they can provide an update on that firefighter's condition, as well as more information on what may have happened here this afternoon. Of course, when we receive that information, we'll have that for you both on air and online. For now, we're live here in Manchester. I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Police, dozens of drivers clocked above 90 miles per hour over holiday weekend in New Hampshire. 6 drivers clocked traveling faster than 100 miles per hour, police say. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
When you cut lawns for a living, reliability matters. The Kubota commercial lineup with purpose-built mowers like the Z.
New Hampshire State Police had a busy holiday weekend using speed monitoring aircraft. State police say they identified 306 driving violations, including 50 drivers going over 90 and 6 drivers going over 100 miles per hour. Troopers want to remind people to slow down.
Okay, there you go. Good reminder there. Please slow down and follow the rules of the road. Will protect you and the people around you as well. Stocks surge, pushing the S&P 500 back above 3,000 for the first time since early March. Stocks surged on Tuesday as optimism grew about the reopening of the economy and the potential coronavirus vaccine. Manhunt for Connecticut murder suspect intensifies. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
It's day 5 of a nationwide manhunt for a college student police say is armed and dangerous. Authorities say 23-year-old University of Connecticut senior Peter Manfredonia is on the run, wanted in connection with 2 murders and a kidnapping spanning at least 3 states. This morning, his family is speaking out through their attorney.
Nobody wants any harm to come to you. It is time to let the healing process begin. It's time to surrender.
It all started Friday in Willington, Connecticut, when police say Manfredonia killed 62-year-old Ted Demers after Demers gave Manfredonia a ride. Manfredonia is also accused of attacking Demers' neighbor and briefly holding one more person captive before stealing guns and a truck. According to the New York Times, Demers' wife says Manfredonia had been on their street stalking a neighbor's daughter. Then on Sunday, police say Manfredonia went to an acquaintance's home where he killed Nicholas Isley, kidnapped his girlfriend, and stole a black Volkswagen Jetta.
This guy could have came by my house. It's sad, that something has to happen like this.
Authorities believe Manfredonia drove the Jetta along with the woman to New Jersey, where he let her go unharmed and abandoned the car. Pennsylvania police say this is the latest picture of Manfredonia walking along train tracks with a duffel bag near East Stroudsburg. Inside, believed to be pistols and a long gun. Manfredonia's family says they haven't heard from him, but say he has struggled with mental health issues.
He sought the help of a number of therapists, and he's had the support of his parents and loved ones.
Manfredonia's family says he was an honor student and a football player. Police aren't releasing any information on a possible motive, but say if you do see Manfredonia, don't approach him. Call 911 because he is considered armed and dangerous.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for joining us for this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast. I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.